All right, a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome here to Night Moves for Friday, July 31st. We've got Major League Baseball action here today, full slate, ready to head into a great sports betting weekend, and nice treat in the afternoon with the Yankees and the Cubs. Always nice for our Friday afternoon game, but that's a real hummer here, well, so to speak, with the Yankees and the Cubs. Looking forward to that. And we've got three games in the WNBA tonight, as well as one in the CFL. How about that CFL upset there on Thursday? But recap some of the action, say hello to everyone, and get moving here on Night Moves, preview the card. Thanks to everyone joining me here in the chat tonight. See who's here and ready to roll. We've got a great group ready to go, including Larry. He's at work. What a coincidence. So am I. Cal Dog is here tonight. And I want to say hello and special welcome to Ken Kenful. All right, nice to have Ken here. Cubs and Rays on the parlay. Good job, Ken, here. What else? I don't know if that's over there. Andre Harrison's here. We got a good group here tonight. Nice to see some new faces joining possibly the chat pros here. And let's see. Good to have everyone. Good conversation in the chat. Mark Curry, hello. And good to see everyone here. It's going to be a big weekend, huh? Talk Major League Baseball tonight. We'll talk some of my winners here. Thought we had a pretty good show last night with some of the games. Not so many winners in the National League, but the rest of them kind of came through there. And we had some interesting results here from the action on Thursday. Let's get into some of those games here, including the day games where we saw Tampa Bay beat the Rangers 3-2. I was on the run line in that game with the Rays, but nonetheless, they were able to pick up the win there 3-2 over the Rangers. In that one, Yandy Diaz, a home run for the Rays. Also, it was Kansas City and Minnesota, 4-3. The Twins got the win. Twins. And Cody Clemens hit a walk-off grand slam in the ninth inning. It was 3-0 favor of Kansas City. And not bottom of the ninth inning, Clemens, the son of the Hall of Famer there. And I say Hall of Famer, tongue-in-cheek there. But 4-3, Cody Clemens with home run in the bottom of the ninth inning. Minnesota didn't even get a hit until the sixth inning. Noah Cameron, it totally ruined that start. Allowed one hit in 8 innings pitched for the Royals and lose the game 4-3. We had the under, and we still hang on there with that one as the Twins beat the Royals 4-3. Also was the White Sox outlasting the Yankees 2-1 in 11 innings. Tristan Peters drew a bases-loaded walk to end the game. The game was scoreless after 9 innings, but of course someone had to score. You know, the Yankees are 1-8 in extra innings this season. Something to note, and a little bit of live betting there maybe. You got Yankees just not proving clutch, and interesting to note, right? When so many games are so close, and they're 1-8. But we did have the White Sox here on Night Moves last night, didn't we? Yeah, we sure did. Also, a day game there with the Cubs and the Cardinals. I had a premium pick winner in that one on the under as the Cubs won it 4-3 in 10 innings. Man, we're seeing a lot of extra inning games, aren't we, here lately? We had the Cubs here on Night Moves last night as they were able to get the win. Breggs knocked in the game winner with a double. Bregman in this 4-game series against the Cardinals, 9 for 18 with 6 doubles and a home run. The Cubs are sitting comfortably atop the National League wildcard standings. That's good news for them. They'll probably head into the postseason here, just keep the ship on course, and the Cubs did take care of that one. It was New York over Miami 4-2 as the Mets were able to get the win over the Marlins. Mets scored twice in the bottom of the 8th inning. Luis Robert had the game-winning hit. Miami led 1-0 after 5 innings behind Yuri Perez. We liked him in the game anyway. That's why we took him as a dog. Knew it'd be a tight, good pitching game, and it was, but the Mets were able to get the win. Cincinnati knocked off Pittsburgh 3-2. Nice, not bad for the Reds there in that one up against the Pirates, picking up a nice victory there as the Buccos ended up losing that one. Eduardo uh, uh, for the Pirates, it was Ramirez was in there for the Pirates there yesterday, and Lauder in there for Cincinnati. So Ramirez, just 2 innings. He was a bit of an opener, but he looked good. He struck out 4. But Lauder, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks. That'll work. And the Reds got the win. Also, it was Atlanta 5-4 over Washington yesterday as Braves were able to pick up that win over the Nationals. And Braves were, considerable favorite there with Holmes, but it took 2 runs in the 5th and 2 runs in the 6th to erase a 3-1 deficit there in that one as Atlanta went on to get the win over the Nationals there. Also, Padres, they lost to the Giants 4-1, but we did have the under here on Night Moves last night in that game as Robbie Ray was the man there with 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts of the Padres in that one to kind of outduel J.P. Sears, and the Giants were able to get the win. Nice underdog on the road there yesterday in that one. So, all right, let's see what happened. I was trying to think of that hit. I can't think of it. I have to look it up here. Susac. That's why it was Susac there with the big stroke for the Giants, that 3-run home run. I couldn't think of his name. Susac. A couple more here real quick. Let me just run these down. Boston here. We did have the winner on the drive-through. I said go under with the Red Sox and the Athletics there, and it was Boston getting the win 5-4. We did go with the first 5 there yesterday, but it was 3-3 after 5 innings. We took Boston with Gray. Gray actually ran into a little bit of a little bit of something there. Finished with 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs. So you're still going to get plenty of innings from him. He hung in there, and the Red Sox were able to still get that win and get it done nonetheless. And finally, it was the Dodgers 6-2 over the Mariners. They pretty much took care of business with Roki Sasaki yesterday. 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs there in that one for Sasaki, and the Dodgers were able to win it 6-2 and handle the business there in that one as the Mariners offense once again really couldn't necessarily get it rolling there in that one. Mookie Betts had a double early on. Dalton Rushing, a 3-run home run. Teoscar, solo home run as well. We'll see. Ohtani, the knee swelling has increased. The media reports say, you guys know you can trust me on these, right? I mean, I'm usually going to be right on these. We saw Ohtani get pulled from the lineup just a few hours, late in the afternoon. But the problem here is he's got 2 injuries. So I think you are going to see Ohtani hit the injured list. I'm usually right, all right? And even when I'm wrong, don't question me. So let's see if Ohtani doesn't hit the IL. Over the W last night, did see Minnesota. They crushed over Toronto 104-72. We did have the winner here on Night Moves with the Sky. They were able to rally and win 94-88. And had a premium pick winner with the Aces -4. They won by 5 over the Liberty 104-99. It did go over. We had the over in the first half here on Night Moves, and it easily did go over there at 96. Went over by about 7 or 8 points there in that one. And then finally CFL BC over Winnipeg, and everyone was questioning the quarterback from Colorado. How would he fare? Salter here. Interesting to note. I don't want to make any comparisons, as the guy who replaced Shedeur Sanders, but just look at it this way. I mean, he went out there and tore it up in the fourth quarter and was able to get the win there. They scored, I think, 25 points in the fourth quarter to win the game. They were down 16-10 after three, the Lions, trailing the Bombers, and they outscored the Bombers 25-3 in the fourth quarter behind Salter. There and pick up the win. Also, the big player of the game was Xander Horvath with 3 touchdowns in that one for BC. I didn't have him on my fantasy team, my CFL fantasy team. So we'll talk about the one CFL game a little bit tonight, see if we can't fix what went wrong there in that game. But good job by BC, just their second win of the year. The Bombers showed some problems there in that game. All right, let's see what else is going on here in the chat with the crew. We're just about set to go here, but I'm going to go over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot over at Tony's. And just got done watching the tennis match here a few moments ago. The replays are on right now, but sure enough, just watched a match just end here. We had, remember, the action here is in North America here this week, so we got late night action. Cam Norrie just beat Tomic. Tomic was okay on his comeback here. He's been a little long in the tooth, but easy win for Norrie there just a short time ago. All right, we'll go over to Tony'sPicks.com and share the leaderboards with you. Want to see who did well yesterday here at Tony's Picks. It was Ron Crawford hitting 71% on the day there with a 5-2 record. Ron Hahn went 2-0. Tony T 2-0. David Racy 4-3. Al Ninos won his only play. Shane Mickle won his only play. Jorge Gonzalez won his only play, and even I showed up on the leaderboards for once. Over the last 7 days, Ron Hahn is leading the way there. Pretty strong run here, 71% for Ron. Brian Bittler also rolling here a little bit right now, 65%. Tom Regard looking pretty sharp there as well with 56% over the last 7 days. Look at what you get when you subscribe with Ron, with Tom there. You're going to get on average 7 or 8 plays a day with Tom. He's really cranking out the volume. Stacks McKelvey, a real strong percentage here, up 5 3/4 units. Mills Young, 5.5 units of profit. Chris Adkins, 5 1/3 units of profit. Damian Sosh, 5 units of profit hitting those dogs. The VIP account in here up over 4 1/3 units. Tony T, Jorge Gonzalez, Hollywood Sam, and Al Ninos are in the green. Last 30 days, it's Stacks McKelvey up 22 3/4 units. Ron Hahn's up nearly 20 units. Over the last 30 days, Tom Regard up over 19 units. Chris Atkins up over 14 3/4 units. Mills Young up over 13 3/4 units. Mills was awesome today on the drive-through, showing all the versatility there from MMA to WNBA to Major League Baseball, and Mills has proven it. 13 3/4 units of profit. VIP account here up over 12 units. Hollywood Sam up 10 units. Tony T is up 9 1/3 units. Jorge Gonzalez, 8 units of profit this month. David Racy, Damian Sasha, Al Ninos, Brian Bittler are all in the green. Head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at the premium picks here for Friday. Got a premium pick in there from Chris Adkins, and Mills Young has a premium pick as well. You know, if I don't have any tattoos, but if I did, Chris would be my man for sure. Tom Regard here. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Tom Regard's got a guaranteed best bet in the WNBA. And Tony T's got a premium pick in the WNBA. Kevin Thomas, KT, Friday, under the radar MLB pick. Al Ninos has a Friday Grand Slam. Shane Mickle has a profit guaranteed pick in there as well. Double Shooty, a premium pick there in Major League Soccer coming up this weekend. And David Racy's got his Friday afternoon MLB winner. You can check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. I think right now is a great time to ride with me this weekend. Let's go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll bring home the winners for you for just $99 over at Tony'sPicks.com. I'm going to go hard here this weekend with Major League Baseball, also the UFC on Saturday. Don't forget, it's an early start here this week from Belgrade, Serbia, with that main event here. We've got welterweights Uros Medic and Daniel Rodriguez, top 15 contenders in the welterweight division. Daniel Rodriguez just spent 8 months in a Tijuana jail, and I'm not kidding. Well, not just spent, but he got out. Let's just say he got out just a few months ago, and he said maybe his training regimen was hampered a little bit. He's 20-5. He's won 3 straight, including a win over Holland 54 weeks ago, but can't fight when you're out of action, when you're in the Tijuana jail. He was a 450 dog on that night in New Orleans, but he hasn't fought in a year because of the 8 months that he spent. Also, Medic comes in with a 3-fight win streak. He beat Neal in February and earned the performance bonus. He's the top-ranked Serbian in the UFC in any division. So welterweights, and then I'll have a 3-pack probably of plays there on that card. I'm not sure if I will on the main event. It's a little bit the line, of course, for that fight with the Medic here. A pretty serious favorite for sure for Uros Medic in this one at minus 435. But we have some picks in there. I really only come at you with the toughest picks, toughest fights to pick. Really, every fight that you're going to get from me is pretty much a pick 'em, and I'm going to try to give you the winner each time over here at Tony's Picks. All right. Thanks for listening, and thank you to the subscribers as well. You keep me coming back here every night when you subscribe to my picks over at Tony's Picks. So like I said, why not grab a 3-pack here this week in my high roller selections? These are my super high roller plays. These are the best plays I've got. You can go double fisted to the window with my plays here this weekend. Anthony Mays hit a 16 parlay here. Ken says all the unders hit in Major League Baseball. Where were the runs there yesterday? Did every game here under to the total? I mean, you'd think I'd be rolling in the dough if every game went under, right? At least I think we had a winning day. And, when the unders are hitting, you can usually expect that Ramon did well. Although, like I said, we did have our premium pick winner there on the Cardinals yesterday, but had a couple of tennis, went 1 and 2 in my tennis. What happened? All right, here we go. Let's see who else is joining us in the chat and some of the winners there as well. Lynx went crazy. Sky Liberty Ace is over. And Andre talking about the Giants under there, more unders. And they all get it, don't they, Larry? I mean, just one of my favorites just passed away. He had, brain-related injuries, let's just say. Billy Ray Smith, former Charger and a sportscaster in San Diego, who I had a chance to do a segment with on some football many years ago now, but definitely a very nice man. And he had his own share of brain injuries, much like another Charger linebacker, of course, Junior Seau. But Billy Ray passed away mostly from symptoms of, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, those, injuries where he could. In fact, he was a broadcaster, and towards the end of his broadcasting career, doing a radio show, you could see the deterioration. Actually, eventually had to go off the air. Oh my gosh, Latifa's here. Latifa's here tonight, joining us. So great to have Latifa with us. We'll have some great picks now. Anthony's got some plays in there as well. The Queen is in. The Queen is in the house here. Maybe we should start. And let's see, everybody in line. All right. You guys are having a great chat in there. I'm scrolling through it, trying to, when Latifa's here, everyone gets fired up. All right, Anthony talked about Anthony very forthright and honest there. I think if he's saying it there, Anthony said, it'll really. I think if that sounds pretty sincere, Anthony, if you're talking about that, and Soundman's here soon. College football. I was talking college football today with Tony, and I like, I was watching Big Ten Media Day, so I probably got wrapped up in it. You probably saw the comments today from from the Indiana coach. He's a great coach, man, and I think he's the reason why Indiana is the way they are right now. And I think that Indiana, I like Indiana over Ohio State, maybe still. I think, when they've got Josh Hoover from TCU paying him $4 million come in and play quarterback. I mean, look, I love Julian Sayin too. He's one of my favorite players that I've followed since high school days at Carlsbad High in San Diego. So I'm partial to him for sure. And the other thing, I like Hoover to win the Heisman. Now they probably have to win the, you know, national title, or by the time they vote, be in contention for the national championship. But the thing is, Ohio State, they've got one of the best receivers in the nation, and that might just split the vote a little bit for Ohio State Heisman voters. If you got say Smith has a great year, but with Sayin, the combination, that vote could split. Wide receivers don't win too often. It's usually a quarterback, but Smith is so off the charts that he is a top contender for the Heisman right now. And I like Josh Hoover at 15-1 right now to win the Heisman Trophy. I probably like Indiana. It's going to be tough to repeat, especially if you're Indiana, where the thing is, I think people are still going to kind of say we're not necessarily a believer. We think that because of, Mendoza, let me straighten up here with Latifa here a little bit. With Mendoza here, right? He carried him. That's why Indiana was so good out of nowhere. No, I don't think so. I think it's more Signetti. I think he's going to have. I'm not saying these guys are system quarterbacks. I mean, look at this guy's. Hoover's getting paid $4 million. I mean, he is a top level. Coming from TCU, but still, this is the way it works now in college football. So I'm kind of rolling with Indiana again. I like Signetti. Big Ten's tough. We know that. I think that's the thing that Big Ten was talking about, and their dominance over the SEC. Even Tony was laughing when I said, I mean, even I'm switching to this Big Ten. They dominated the playoffs against SEC teams. They dominated the bowl games. I mean, the records were practically reversed, right? I think what they say, the Big Ten was, what were they, 10-4, 12-3, something like that in their bowl games, and the SEC was like 4-10. So good job, sound man. And we got to get going here, but man, I'm having a good conversation. The sound man there, he's saying I doesn't see it with Indiana. I think you got to watch this guy Signetti. I think he has it going on. The guy's won everywhere he's gone in this same kind of fashion. Okay, let's go. I think I got through the comments here a little bit. Okay, let's talk right now to. Use the promo code Tony T at checkout. Save 15% off the premium pick packages over there at Tony's Picks. Okay. Let's get rolling here with Major League Baseball on Friday and a great matinee, man. We love our Cubs on Fridays at home, right? But look at when we can get a game like this. The Yankees and Will Warren here going up against Shota Imanaga. Warren comes in with a 4.41 ERA. Imanaga 3.72. Warren is 7-5 on the season. Imanaga comes in here with a record of 7-8, 1.1 WHIP for Imanaga. Warren's got a WHIP here of 1.41. Not saying Imanaga's a better pitcher here, but man, $1.50, is that what we're dealing with here? $1.50 for the. Did I type this in right? Okay, I got you, man. Cubs are pretty good right now at home, but what am I missing here? I love the Cubs, but I love the Yankees too. Now, Jazz Chisholm left last game right there the other night, right? And he might even be questionable coming into this one. I don't think that's the reason why the Cubs are necessarily $1.50 here. Maybe because Imanaga is supposedly a little bit better than Will Warren. I get that. He probably is. But the $1.50 here, I love the Cubs as much as the next guy. But let's see what you guys have to say in this one. I think it's just common, Warren, awful in his last 3 starts, 9.75 ERA, 1.92 WHIP. They even had to send him to the bullpen there for a while. He was a reliever in 2 games in that Pirates series, and he's been terrible on the road too. 5 ERA, 286 batting average against. Cubs do have a top 10 lineup against right-handers on the season. That's been strong. Top 3 offense in the last week as well. 5.5 hits a game and 3.6 runs in their last 10 starts against right-handed starting pitching. But man, isn't this where you kind of want the Yankees still? I don't know, but I know the numbers might not be lining up here necessarily in this game. But I'm raising an eyebrow here in this one. Let's see what you guys have, though. I mean, I get it. Imanaga is a better starting profile than Warren. And Chicago actually does own the better overall record, I think, here by a game or 2 right now over the Yankees. So let's see what you think here. Maybe the under, Yankees still that bullpen ERA is under 3 right now. The Cubs ERA is at 4. 5 of the last 6 meetings have stayed under when these 2 teams have met. They only meet once a year. So that is something to consider here. Imanaga's had 5 consecutive unders when he's opened in series. Let's see what you got here with the chat in this one. Okay. I want to say, Latifa, thank you very much for the dono in here. And let's see. Larry says he likes over 4.5 in the first 5, but he likes over in the first 5, but it has got a nerfy. Is that right, Larry? So you think scoreless in the first, but still get over in the first 5? Latifa may like the under here. Farley's on the Cubs on the run line. Latifa likes the Cubs as well. All right. Timmy's laughing. He's saying Warren must be an opener. He's been so bad. He has been bad. I can't argue it here, but I don't know. I can't take the Cubs at this type of price again. Hi, Joe's here, everybody. He's got the Cubs first 5 here. Cal Dog's on the Cubs. Larry says, go Cubs, go. Go Cubs, go. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? Cubs are going to win today. And Michael, I can't be. It's got to be. Look, I don't want to. I'm really appreciative of Michael Plepcorn here, but when you've got a different name coming in every day asking for unless there's just people just scanning the dial for live people talking sport, and I might be the only one on. And then, I almost feel like I'm not saying that Michael here. Look, Michael, I really appreciate you. I appreciate every unique visitor that comes in every night. But you never see the same person, and they come in and ask about Asian baseball. Help me out here. I'm one of the most cynical of the folks. But first time, I'm sure it is, Michael, and. Glad to see the Arizona Cardinals. Michael, I'm not picking on you, man. If you only knew. Okay, then if you don't know, a new request every night. But I will say this. You've come to the right place. Let me tell you why. Every night here at Tony'sPicks.com, we have a man who specializes in Asian baseball, and he brings us his top plays every night in KBO, in NPB by the name of Ron Crawford. He brings us his top plays every night. Now I think he took the night off here possibly, so I don't want to say anything, pin it on him. But what did we say? You're looking at the NPB tonight? All right, I'll go with the Marines and the Fighters over 8.5. That's my pick. Marines and Fighters over 8.5 in this one. All right. And I think also, let me see, I got another one here. Let me find my sheet. All right. Marines and Fighters over, Tigers and Swallows under. All right. When the Swallows come back, they're going to go under. So give me the under, the Tigers and the Swallows, and the Marines and the Fighters over. I should have come Should have come with plays in every game there, but I gotta just give you what I've got. All right, there's the segment, and I've lost my place here. Yankees run line for Anthony, and Jimmy's ready for the. We're just gonna change it to an Asian baseball show. We're gonna change it to the Asian baseball show. Yeah, I think I just looked. Ron didn't have. I don't want to call him out, but we didn't have the videos tonight, so I don't think we did. Maybe we did, and I just missed them. If I did, Ron, I apologize. I'm looking down here, but Ron's been partially on the. He's been on the IL himself here a little bit, so we're glad he's back. I filled in for him tonight on the 2-3 zone show. I want to tell you that right now before we continue to move on, though. I was in with Justin and Bo tonight, so check out the 2-3 zone for the WNBA plays here, okay? All right, let me keep it rolling right now. And Latifa's favorite team is now the Swallow. We might have to. This might be a NSFW sports handicapping show. Yankees and underdogs is rare. Too good a value. Me and Micah, we might be on the same, maybe on the same page here. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Yankees here in this one. I'll be the guy, or me and Michael will be the guy. We're going to take. I'm going to take the Yankees. I just can't pass. Will Warren has not been good. We know Imanaga's fine, and $1.50. I can't do it. I'm going to take the Yankees here. The whole chat pretty much on the Cubs. All right, and and everyone loves the teams over in Japan. Everyone loves the teams over in Japan. All right, here we go. Next up, Pirates here are on the road taking on the Reds with Paul Skeens. 3.65 ERA, a 9-9 record here for Skeens. He's up against Hunter Green. This is a matchup of the night right here. Even if Hunter Green's ERA is 7.06, I think we would say let's give him a shot here in this one to at least try to duel Green a little, to duel Skeens a little bit. No, that Reds offense has been pitiful, and no wonder. And Skeens is only $1.40 now. That is actually up from the opener a little bit. Pirates have a great offense. They've lost 3 in a row right now, and the Reds, they've tasted a victory here in the first game of the series, 3-2. So if Green is back to being green a little bit, maybe he'll be in the green. He should be getting it together, it feels like, anyway. Skeens hasn't been quite as dominant statistically this season. I mean, certainly he's a bit of an upgrade over where Green is at right now, since Green has only returned here recently and just trying to get it together a little bit. But he certainly looked strong at times. I mean, there's no one saying that Green probably can't return to form here. Maybe he just had a little bit of a rough outings here a little bit. Because Skeens has allowed more runs than we're used to, but he's still striking out guys. 30% K rate. Did give up 5 earned runs against the Cubs in his most recent start, but he had 11 strikeouts. So he's hittable. He's firing it in there. He's kind of giving it up a little bit, but he's facing the Reds offense that ranks dead last in average, OBP, strikeout. Strikes out more than any other team against right-handed pitching on the season, and in their last 7 games they're striking out 34% of the time. So guys who can pitch decent fastballs have had success against this Reds lineup. Gavin Williams had 12 strikeouts. Palante struck out 8. Dustin May struck out 8. So you'd think that Skeens here should be able to deal. Green's appeared in 4 games since returning from injury. Against the Cubs, he had 7 innings and 12 K. So it does show you he can get it going. Maybe it's just a little bit rough, to get it back going here. But really poor on the ground ball rate. He's kind of giving up some flies here right now. So if the Pirates can get that offense going, maybe they can get to Green. But right now, your guess, if your guess is that Green will be bad, then that's fair because that's what the stats say. But at home, there's every chance that he could be that guy that, just mowed down the Cubs. And although maybe uh, the Skeens, the Pirates are a little bit better than the Cubs offensively, are they? I don't know if they are. So, all right. But we know the Pirates have a top two offense against right-handed pitching. That is for sure. Neither pen has been too great. So let's see what you think, though, with this one, with the Pirates and the Reds here. Is Green just throwing it up there and getting rocked? Okay, here we go. Anthony, we gave out 2 picks. You want the whole card here? Okay. Larry says, how can Ramon go against those Cubs? Right? If they're $1.20, I'd probably be on the Cubs, I think. But I think that's the point, right? Pirates Reds under in the first. That's a nerfy for Larry. Latifa wants no part of this game. Timmy says it's an under trap. Go over here in this one. Hard to take the Reds when Hunter's in there. Man, I mean, I think Hunter Green, I just think the world of him. I mean, I think he's great. I just think, he's getting back from injury. Hopefully you're thinking the same thing. He's just coming back from injury, and you don't think that Hunter Green, sucks or anything, because I think he's, bound to be a great pitcher for years to come. Farley, Pirates on the money line. Does Skeens, right? Does he get smoked here in this one? Because the Reds lineup, they're not good, but they're at home at least. Okay. Over for Cal Dog. Timmy says Skeens not great. Man, I don't know. I think he's pretty great. I think he relies on his stuff a little too much, right? He thinks it'll always work. Okay, let's see here. Pirates money line for Anthony here. All right. I'm going to go under in the first 5 here in this one. I mean, I got to, prove it here with Green and say, hey, let's give him a chance here. Eventually, he's going to get back to being Hunter Green. I don't think that Hunter Green should be looked at as a guy who is broken or as a minor leaguer or anything like that. Okay. Next up, the Phillies are taking on the Orioles. It's not Mitch Keller. It's not even Brad Keller. It's Brian Keller. And Brian Keller here is quite a story. Pitching for the Phillies here. Now, look, the Phillies have some good pitching. Right now, they've gone to Brian Keller. And Brian Keller's got a hell of a story. After 10 years in the minor leagues, he finally came in his first major league game last start, and he threw 3 beautiful innings against the Yankees. 3 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 39 pitches. But if you've spent 10 years in the minor leagues, that's practically a no-hitter. For Keller to get in as a 5th starter, they're going to have to pitch him a little bit more. He's not going to be pitching in game 3 of the postseason or anything, but you just got to stretch these Phillies out a little bit. They're working hard here. Baltimore's continuing to do well, man. 53 and 56. They haven't been the best against right-handed pitching. They're probably a bottom 10 offense over the last against righties, and probably the same here of late. But they did get 4 runs off of Montero, although they were shut out twice here. They lost 14-0. Remember in that game against Detroit. So Young has been a real revelation here for the Orioles and really done a nice job. Forever Young, 3.13 ERA, 8-2 record here for Brandon Young. Really a nice surprise for the Orioles. They really can use this right now. They're battling here. They could still find a way to do something. I mean, they're 3 games under 500. They're probably not going to get there, but hey, it's August now. Just about. So 35 he's coming off 2 good games here against pretty good offenses, and the Astros and the Braves gave up 2 earned runs in 13 1/3 innings against those guys. Phillies offense definitely hit and miss for sure. Their last 8 games against right-handers, against after the All-Star break so far. They've had 6 earned runs in 3 of those games off of the pitchers, but just 2 earned runs in the other 5 games, and they've been shut out by the starting pitching 5 times. So this offense has a tough time against good pitchers here. I think Brandon Young qualifies in that category, actually. Funny that the Orioles are a favorite here. It does kind of want to think that maybe you should take the Phillies here, but you're talking about a guy in Brandon Young who's kind of been doing it all season with solid numbers. And again, for our man Keller, he came up for his first taste of major league action for the first time in 10 years. He's never even pitched in the major leagues as a career minor leaguer. So yeah, you can try to say, hey man, I'm getting the Phillies as a dog, but that feels a little bit like a stretch. Okay, so Latifa here, we know. Let's see how she's going to do it, though, here. Over for Larry. And Cal Dog is on the O's. O's money line for Farley. Timmy says, Philly lefties for Young to work through in a Philly gauntlet that's looking to get through a slump. Man, Timmy should be a headline writer. Okay. And Latifa not okay. I was wondering what she would do with her fills here in this one. Yeah, I'm going to take the favorite Orioles here. It feels tempting almost with the Phillies, but they did not look good, obviously, in that series against Miami, losing every game to them in every way imaginable. Right? They got out. They lost a 1-0 game in there. The other 2 games they were outslugged 16-13. So, and that was a Miami team that had lost all those games in a row, and then the Phillies came in and couldn't beat them. So that's a little bit rough. No problem here for the Phillies. I mean, they're still, hanging in there, 5 games above 500 right now. But all right, let's move on to the next one. Cardinals are going to take on the Blue Jays, some beautiful birds in a weekend series here with Kyle Leahy, 3.55 ERA. For Dylan Cease, a 2.46 ERA, 7-5 record, 109 the whip. For Cease here, we know he's been outstanding. The Blue Jays are money burners, however, all season long. They're down 21 units. If you've been playing the Blue Jays here this season with that 50-59 record, the Cardinals 1 game under 500. Leahy 1.34 whip, but 7-4 record. I think they might have something here with Kyle Leahy. Now you're going up against Dylan Cease, who all of a sudden we already know he's a pretty great pitcher, but it feels like he's even better here right now. Although he allowed 3 earned runs to the Rays in one of his worst starts here a couple starts ago, but then came back with 12 strikeouts and 1 hit in a 9-inning complete game shutout against one of the hottest teams in the league in the Boston Red Sox last week. Has given up some walks for sure, but 36% K rate here for Cease. Leahy, pretty solid from what we were expecting here in this one. 28% K rate in the last 3 games. I'm not saying the Blue Jays are going to get this offense on track here, but they've been playing a little bit better than the Cardinals have anyway here of late. They took that series on the road against Washington and did a nice job. Meanwhile, for St. Louis, they lost the series to Chicago pretty badly there, 3-1. So Blue Jays, this offense has been was dead last, but they definitely have picked it up here. In fact, over the last week, they're probably a top 10 offense over the last 7 days or so. But see what you think here with these two, Cardinals and the Blue Jays. And you have the Blue Jays here. Pretty big favorite, though, with Cease, $1.70 here. The offense not going, but the Cardinals haven't been looking great. You got to think these pitchers are going to have the upper hand in this game with these two offenses, the way they're kind of going. Cease, 167 strikeouts on the season. Blue Jays on a 5 on a nice streak here. Um, uh, 5 straight wins as a favorite, anyway. So they come through when they are favored lately. Toronto has a 3.87 bullpen ERA, so does leave a little bit to be desired. So we'll see. But Cease, man, he can go 9 if he's on. So let's see what's going on in the chat here. This one with Cardinals and Jays. Okay. Okay, let's see here. St. Louis on the money line. Oh, Anthony did like Billy back there on that. He thinks that's a gift to get him at plus money. Cal Dogs on the Cardinals. Under in the first 5, says Timmy. I agree. That's going to be my pick right there with Timmy. I'm going under first 5 right there with Cease and Leahy. Latifa's going under in the game. And let's see here. And Timmy says, don't forget the trade deadline coming up. Cards money line here for Farley. And Latifa likes the under full game here in this one. All right. Next up, the Marlins. That's not quite how you spell Marlene either. It's not how you spell Marlins. It's not how you spell Marlene. The Marlins and Jansen Junk here in this one, going up against the Mets and Freddie. Freddie a favorite here, $1.30 in this one, and the total here 8.5. 8.5 under 15 here. Mets playing them pretty good here of late. Give them some credit. And they beat the Marlins, who were coming in off that 3-game winning streak over the Phillies. So the Mets were able to get one done here. They've been playing very well here, pretty well of late for the Mets. And they've cost me some units here over the last, I've been playing a lot against the Mets. But now the Marlins come into town, and Marlins like I said, swept the Phillies. They're still 21-32 on the road. The Mets are 25-31 at home. And we know here, of course, Soto, long been out now. I mean, no reason to count him back in at all here in the current or near future. We're operating with a different set of batters here, definitely for the Mets right now. Guys like Lindor and Bichette and Bengie and Luis Robert in there. So they are favored here, $1.30, 8.5 under at minus $1.15. See what you think here in this one when the Mets here take on the Marlins. Junk hasn't been that good of late for sure. 4.89 ERA, 274 batting average against, and against lefties, real bad, 324 batting average. And Marlins, they haven't been great here. The Mets offense, like I said, a little bit better here. Junk, this is a pretty soft matchup for him against this Marlins team. The Marlins are averaging just 1.8 earned runs against their last 10 right-handed starting pitchers that they have faced. Now, they did face some tough teams during that stretch there, but let's see for Peralta, he could be auditioning out here for another team. He already said publicly he feels like he let the Mets down. He's already saying, sorry, but I got to go. So it feels like he won't be with the Mets much longer. He's been just dreadful with them so far. He's got a 5 ERA this season with a 1.48 whip, and even worse of late, 7.24 ERA, 1.9 whip. This was supposed to be the guy that they brought in to be kind of one of their better pitchers here this season, along with McLean. Peralta was supposed to give him kind of a punch, and he's been kind of one of the guys that's kind of cost him here. So is he going to be out there for a big audition, or is he going to be out there, woe is me, I take my money and run here and get maybe to a contender? But who wants him? I mean, how are you going to trust him here? Is he just a victim of being on the Mets? So Marlins offense was back there in that Philly series for sure. Uh, they did have a couple of earned runs off of Nolan McLean yesterday, and Peralta's much worse than McLean. I just said it. So Marlins probably have the better offense here coming into this one. Let's see what you think with this one with a Junk going up against Peralta. Okay, here we go with some picks from the chat. Okay. We've got here Larry's on the Mets on the money line. And Anthony says the Mets aren't trash anymore. They just ruin people's parlays that have been going against them like me. Maybe Mets money line for Anthony. Mets money line for Farley here. And the Marlins, a sardine, the Marlins. And maybe over for Timmy. Says maybe it looks easy there. And Latifa says, yeah, take Miami. Are you guys crazy? I mean, the Mets, I know. Just in general, I still want to go against the Mets, especially as a favorite, kind of. Anthony may put a little on the Marlins here. Cal Dog's on the Mets. Are the Mets? Do they kind of feel like one of those? Take them when they're underdogs, but go against them when they're favorites. Is that what Latifa's going to take the Junk? Got the Junk in the trunk. I'll go over in this one. Maybe I just better go under here. I mean, over with Junk and Peralta. A Junk should have. It's too easy, right? He should have like Gaylord Perry arsenal. He should have like 7 different pitches. Okay, next up. The White Sox are on the road, taking on this should be the Rays, not the Blue Jays. Another mistake by the executive producer. Okay, so the White Sox here, and Fetty going in this one. We're kind of Fetty people around here, I think, or I don't know, maybe just I am. 4.25 ERA, 5-6 record, 1.4 WHIP. We know Fetty isn't the best, but he does kind of keep you in the game, keeps you in the game a little bit. Now he's going up against Martinez here, 10-2 with a 2.45 ERA and a 1.1 WHIP. Now Martinez has been outstanding. We know that, and continues to look good. But they are favored here minus $1.50 in this one over the Shy Sox here. White Sox still aren't great on the road, 23-30 overall. Tampa's still the best team going, really at home. Incredible record, but 40-16. Tampa's also 40-30 on the run line. However, as a run line favorite, I mean. However, the White Sox are a terrific run line dog at 47-34, and you do got to lay a little bit here to take that 1.5. But I don't know. Let's see what you think here in this one. The White Sox are definitely the over team of these two, while Tampa's kind of an under team. So you do have a little bit of contrast there. Tampa's 21-31, 23-31 to the under at home. But the White Sox are 31-22 to the over on the road, and 48-33 to the over as an underdog. These two teams met in Chicago earlier this season. Tampa swept them pretty handily too, outscored them in the series 23-11, doubled them up pretty much, and covered the run line in every game in that series, even on the road. It was in April. I don't think we knew quite what the White Sox were up to at that time. They were just off to a so-so start. And, they're still just a team 6 games over 500. Tampa Bay's 20 games over 500. So it's kind of a brutal matchup for Fetty, as much as I kind of like him, numbers notwithstanding. But he really can only go about 4 innings, 70 pitches or so, and then you got to get into the bullpen. And you got a team like Tampa, they probably play right into the hands here, it feels like. The Rays have been solid against right-handed pitching, although they've struggled of late, averaging just 1.8 earned runs in their last 10 games against right-handed starters. They Bieber went 7 innings, gave up just 2 hits against them. Cal Quantrill also had an outstanding performance against them. So, some spots they've struggled, but Martinez just continues to be effective, despite just a 14% K rate. I mean, he is pretty much, a pitch to contact specialist. So, White Sox offense certainly streaky of late, but they're the bottom half, and they're in the last week or so, averaging just 2.3 earned runs off of starting pitching in their last 10 against right-handed starters. They have faced some pretty good starters though in that stretch: Cole, Schlittler, Brown, Bieber. So let's see what you got in this one with the White Sox and the Rays. Couldn't find the right tab there. Okay, here we go. Here come the plays from the chat. Rays for Larry here. He'll take him on the money line. White Sox are playing for fun, but the Rays don't even. Care. I think he means like they don't care like a honey badger. He likes the Rays on the run line. Latifa says this one's kind of perplexing here. Rays on the money line for Farley. Latifa says, Tampa wins at home. Who is she kidding? Kingsley is here tonight. He got the Rays on the run line. Timmy likes Cabanero for a home run. And maybe team total under here for the White Sox, says Timmy. White Sox money line for Anthony is an option here. White Sox aren't scared of anyone. They're like the honey badger. Uber for Timmy. And I think that's it from the crew. I'll take Tampa Bay on the run line here. Give me the Rays to smoke in this one. Diamondbacks taking on the Guardians here, interleague play in Cleveland. And you've got Mitch Bratt, 6.32 ERA, 0-1 record. We know Bratt hasn't been out there but a couple of times so far this season. He's up against Tanner Bybee here in this one for Bybee. 3.88 ERA. Bybee's 4-10 this season. Not great, but not a lot of run support either. 1.18 whip shows he's still pretty good, but just been involved in some close, low-scoring games that haven't worked out. Arizona's won a couple in a row here, winning the last 2 to win the series at Pittsburgh. Cleveland, meanwhile, won the series at Cincinnati 2-1. Arizona, not a great underdog, 27-33 overall. Arizona's 24-30 to the under on the road. See what you have here with these two, as Arizona takes on Cleveland here tonight in Cleveland. For the Guardians here, given their current run here, they did win that series right now, and Bybee favored, probably got the better pitching matchup for sure in this game against a Bratt, an unproven commodity coming into this one. But let's see how you have it. I'll go over some tidbits here in this one, but certainly an edge here for Bybee. Guardians also have a 3.71 bullpen ERA. But Arizona, okay, they're average, 4.15 bullpen ERA. So see what you think of these two hurlers here. I'll go to the chat and get your comments here in this one. Bratt's a left-hander. It's been 4 games so far for Bratt. Pretty much gotten worse every time. Last 2 games against the A's and the Nationals, he gave up 15 hits and 7 earned runs. The 308 batting average against, and not great overall metrics, let's just say. Cleveland hasn't been great against left-handers, though. They're probably one of the worst lineups in the league against left-handed pitching this season. Pretty much dead last in every category. Uh, Batting average, OBP, slugging, and overall, they're just as bad. The offense has been dreadful for Cleveland. So, uh, Guardians, they get an easy matchup maybe here with Brad. It's just that, he's a little bit unproven, and we'll see how they fare against this left-hander. Bibby's been inconsistent. He's got blown up sometimes, and with this Diamondbacks, they are the second worst offense in the majors against right-handed pitching this season, although they've been stepping it up here of late. They have averaged 2.9 earned runs off of starters last 10 right-handers, and they've had 2 or more earned runs in 6 of their last 7 games. So they picked it up here for sure a little bit. Let's see how you have it in this one, Arizona and Cleveland. Let's go to the chat. Get the comments here. Okay. Larry said Sox and Rays in there. Oh, what? I went with the Rays on the run line. Yeah, I'm going with the Rays. Arizona here for Latifa. Farley's on Cleveland. Diamondbacks money line for Anthony. Cal Dog says he's going over. And Larry's going on the under here in this one. Timmy says Arizona's on a little bit of a roll right now with those last 2 victories. They did lose a series before that, right? Or a few games before that, but Guardians just can't score. It's the offense. It's really the problem here. And Arizona does seem like they are stroking a little bit here. Okay, Latifa's on Arizona. And okay, let's see. Guardians aren't going to come back like the Twins. All right. I do trust Cleveland's offense a little bit here against Bratt and company here. And I think Arizona's offense is pretty sharp as well of late. I'm going to go over in the first 5 here with Arizona and Cleveland. Over first 5 for me here in this one with these 2 hurlers. And that number, I got to bring it up here. 5. Over 5. Okay, next up. The Nationals are taking on the Braves here. Foster Griffin goes for Washington. 2.76 ERA for Griffin. For the Braves, Bryce Elder, 3.95 ERA, a 6-6 record, 1.25 WHIP. Elder is kind of a take it or leave it kind of guy, I guess. The Braves are 7-11 to the under with Elder on the mound, 242 batting average against, and a 271 BABIP. Foster Griffin, one of the biggest surprises here, or most improved guys here in the league right now for Griffin, continues to look pretty sharp. His total's 9, and I think you got 2 pretty decent pitchers here who could be pretty effective here. We know that Washington's got this, great lineup, but they are on the road here. Now, granted, this is where they do their best work, but it didn't work out yesterday, and I thought I liked Washington there. But the Braves were able to pull it off 5-4. Remember, the Braves are still 33-20 at home. Remember, I said it's basically the same record as the Nationals on the road, and the Braves are much better than a lot of the teams that they're going to face here. Washington's still just a 500 team, while the Braves are 19 games over 500. So, look, as good as Griffin is, that offense is good too. But the Braves are still a very good team. So I don't know. Let's see what you think of this one. It might be a little bit perplexing, but you got Griffin. How good has he been here, really, this season? One of the biggest surprises in the league. 217 batting average against, gets those ground balls, of course. He's even better on the road, just like Washington is. And against lefties, he's absolutely dynamite. 151 batting average against, .71 whip. This is a pretty solid matchup for him, considering that Braves lineup is loaded with left-handed pitchers. So I'm going to go under the first 5 in this one with Foster Griffin and Bryce Elder. I think this will be Griffin's 3rd time facing this lineup. He had 6+ innings with just 3 combined earned runs in both matchups. So he went 6 or more and gave up just 6 or more in both games, but gave up just 3 total runs. 2 in one and 1 in the other, I believe. So Griffin, pretty solid here. Braves have not been good against left-handers, really. They've kind of struggled in recent games, just 1.7 earned runs in their last 10 against left-handed starters. They faced Manaea for the 3rd time earlier this month and had Manaea went 6 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, and 2 earned runs. Now, Elders looked good too in recent games, but still has been up and down. Now, last 3 games, 3.6 ERA, 1.4 whip, and a 5.35 xERA. But the Nationals could get those bats rolling. I think Elder will be okay. I'm going to go under in the first 5 in this one. Elder, if he starts walking guys, I'm going to be in trouble for sure. But tell you what, the Nationals, they do continue to play pretty hard. You got to be impressed with them. I kind of hope they can get on a run. Let's see here. Nats first 5 for Joe. And it's a nerfy for Larry. Farley likes the Nats first 5 here. And Timmy says the total's moved to 9 flat. Maybe first 5 for Cal Dog there, agreeing with Farley. First 5 under for Timmy. I think he's with me here. Latifa's on the over. Farley says Nats first 5 has been money. Latifa is going over there. Let's see here. Anthony's going over too. Cal Dog says Nats first 5 and the Braves will win the game. And Anthony says Nats are going to score and the Braves are also going to be, this game's going to be met. I think what Anthony's saying is going to be like 8-7, get kind of wild in there. Battle of Texas here. This week with the Rangers taking on the Astros here. American League West, important series here. Teams basically tied. The Rangers are a half a game ahead of the Astros here currently right now. Of course, top the division, and Seattle's 2.5 back. So real important series, 2 teams battling for first place. Houston has a 3-game winning streak here right now. They were able to the series back in July here just about 2 weeks ago. Texas won 2 of 3 at home. Houston, though, continues to roll. They're 8-2 here in their last 10 games overall. Brown minus $1.20. A total 8 here against Eovaldi. Brown comes in here, 3.44 ERA and a 2-1 record. Eovaldi, 4.04 ERA, 10-8 record. We know the Rangers' bats were pretty hot. They've been on the streak of all those overs, of course. Brown comes in here, though, with a 192 batting average against and a 239 BABIP, belies just his 2-1 record. It's just his 10th start of the season. We know he started kind of late, but he's still Hunter Brown and certainly recognized as one of the better pitchers around. Eovaldi certainly is durable, solid, and, has been noted to be a, well above average pitcher, but right now it seems like he's just about average. Houston took advantage of the Angels series there and won 3 straight on the road. Meanwhile, Texas did lose 2 of 3 against Tampa Bay here. So let's see how you have it in this one with Eovaldi. He goes out there, he throws plenty of innings, that's for sure. Had a great start against the Mariners last time out, 7 innings, 1 earned run, and 8 strikeouts, and only a 7% walk rate in his last 3 starts. He was supposed to start yesterday, remember, but got bumped, so he's actually got an extra day of rest here. The Astros have been solid on offense in their last few games, but haven't been top notch, just good. And Brown's been good since returning from injury, no doubt about it. He's coming off his best start of the season with 7 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts, and no walks. 3.57 ERA, as we said, 20% K rate over his last 3 starts. And we'll see. The Rangers haven't been great on offense here. We know they were on a roll for a little bit there, but really have tailed off here over the last couple of games. Let's see what you got in this one. I'm taking the Astros tonight. Give me the Stros at home, minus $1.20 here in this big game against Texas. Man, can you believe it? Astros here. Okay, here we go. Got some comments in the chat. Rangers for Larry. Rangers money line for Anthony. First 5 under here for Farley. And Cal Dog says he likes the over in this one. Okay. And I think, Latifa is talking about the roof in Houston there. She says it makes a big difference when you got that roof. Next up, the Royals are on the road taking on the Rockies. Well, if this were September, we might kick this one off the show, right? I mean, this doesn't feel too great, but we talk about them all here at this time of year. Actually, Michael Wacha here, he still does it, right? 3.6 ERA, 5-7 record. Tomo Sugano's got a 4.68 ERA, but a 10-4 record. That's, pitching at home a little bit. You still get the offense. You give up an extra run or so in Colorado. Colorado's lost 4 in a row, though. They just got beat up by my Padres. I'd always complain the Padres play down to their opposition, but they do kind of crush the Rockies right now. Rockies are pick 'em here. They could go off as a favorite. If they did, the Rockies have only been favored twice this season. Could you imagine if you won every game you were favored and lost every game you were an underdog? If you're the Rockies, you'd be 2-108, 107, I think. 2 wins and 100. The Rockies have been underdogs in 107 of their 109 games so far this season. That is downright insulting. But I guess that's the way it works. I think you're supposed to take the Rockies every game no matter what, right? They're not exactly money makers, but they don't totally kill you here. They are down 4 units, but that's nothing like Kansas City, down 18 units on the season here. So getting the Rockies at kind of a good price, it looks like to me. The Royals are nothing special. They've got pretty much the same record as the Rockies. They're 3.5 games ahead of them in the general standings, but we know Wacha here can, probably go in and throw plenty of innings here against this team. He's having a solid season. He's looked better in recent starts, giving up just 3 earned runs in his last 2 starts and went 13 innings combined in those 2 games. Rockies' offense has kind of bottomed out here of late. This is probably about as bad a stretch as we've seen, but they were also on a road trip against the Brewers and the Padres. So, decent teams. Sugano's been fine. He's actually better at home. He's given up 2+ earned runs in his last 3 starts in both games. And last 3 starts, so 6.48 ERA. Not great. Royals offense, though, has not been good here of late. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Rockies in this one. I'm grabbing them here at a pick 'em. Give me the Rocks at home with Sugano in this one. See if the chat's going to play this crazy game here. Timmy went Rangers first 5 in that other game. Here's Larry. Rockies for Larry. He'll take him at home on the money line. Barley's on the Rockies money line. Latifa's on Colorado. Timmy's going with the under. Cal Dog's on the Rockies. Anthony May's on the Rockies. Everyone's liking the Rockies here against the Royals. Timmy says Sugano even beat Milwaukee. And Anthony says KC showed him the love. Where is the love? The Brewers are taking on the Angels. Let's see if the Angels can snap out of it here right now. They just got swept, as I said, there in that last series. They were overwhelmed, no doubt about it, in that 3-game set against Houston. Milwaukee, meanwhile, lost 2 of 3 against the Giants and lost the first game of the series 3-0 and lost the last game of the series 16-3. So, the Brewers are afforded a chance, afforded to throw in a clunker here maybe a little bit, but this does look like a huge mismatch, and it almost looks like a bargain at $1.65. Now, the Angels will show up every while, but I mean, look at it. You've got a situation here where, not only is Milwaukee coming in here 26 games over 500, you got Drohan, the drone, 3.51 ERA. The Angels' Ryan Johnson has a 7.34 ERA and a 4.4 bullpen ERA to back him up. Milwaukee's won 5 straight meetings between these two teams. Johnson here, not great. I mean, these numbers are way off the chart. He's 2-5 with a 1.54 ERA, and Brewers have a good bullpen. The Angels are one of the worst bullpens. So it does seem like a bit of a mismatch here, but the Angels have been known to bite you, and then the Brewers just lost 2 to the Giants anyway. Now, the Angels are one of the worst teams going. We know that. But for the Dronester here, has gotten hit a little bit in his last 3 starts. He's given up 3+ earned runs in all 3 starts with a 5.4 ERA, but a 104 whip and just a 4% walk rate. So he's keeping the walks down even though he's getting hit a little bit. He also was pushed back. He's actually on an extra day's rest here. The Angels are averaging just 3.3 runs in their last 3 games. That's 10 runs overall in that series that they lost to Houston. Johnson, he's struggled. He's given up 8 earned runs in his last start against the Giants in just 3 1/3 innings, and in his last 3 starts is an 8.1 ERA. The Brewers have this top 5 offense here right now, pretty strong here over the last week. I'm going to take the Brewers in the first 5 in this one. Give me the Brewers to get off to a good start against Johnson with Drohan backing them up here. I'll take the Brewers on the road, first 5 over the Angels. Let's go to the chat and see how you have it. Brewers here on their first 5 in this one at, for me, -0.5 at -$1.25 is what I'm taking. From the comments now, Brewers for Larry, Brewers run line for Farley, Brewers money line for Anthony Mays, Brewers run line for Cal Dog. We used to call this a consensus back in the day when we had someone running the consensus. Don't forget, you can go to Tony'sPicks.com, say you missed the show, or if you want to try to remember that Timmy had the Brewers here, you go to Tony'sPicks.com and you look at the recap show. And then as long as I think I say it verbally, or I don't know how, but, we scan the show and then all your plays are put on the website. So there's a little file on there. It'll say like Night Moves Review. It's sometimes called different names, I think, but the show is reviewed on the website in story form, and all the best picks are in there when you make a confident pick. And I think if I read it, I think it's how the transcript picks it up. And that's another way to do it. You could always go to the transcript and look at the uh, chat play, the conversation. Okay. That's it for the crew on this one. I think I'll go with the first five. Brewers. And what did Anthony say? Angels, the White Sox, and Philly for a parlay there. And the Yankees, four-teamer. We're almost to the end of the show. We got a few games left, though, here with the Tigers on the road. Casey Mize, he's been so solid. 2.7 ERA, just a 4-6 record, no run support for Casey Mize. He's got a .99 whip. I mean, this guy's been so solid, but just not a lot of run support. Fortunately for him, he's going up against the A's here. And Jeffrey Springs, 6.23 ERA, 1.45 whip. Springs, bad numbers here. Of course, pitches in that ballpark, but he is 3-10 overall, so not much help. The A's here, they're 21-33 at home. And Detroit, 33-29 is a favorite. That probably wouldn't cover $1.55, and Detroit's been struggling. Lost 2 of 3 to Baltimore. Did not have a good series against Kansas City. They obviously have a pretty dominating matchup here in this game. I don't know if $1.55, it sounds okay to me, or probably even run line here, but still the Athletics got the run line there last night. And Detroit is not a great run line team as a favorite, 28-34. Total 10.5 over here. Oakland is West Sacramento still is 30-22 to the over at home, but Detroit is 25-34 to the under on the road. Now, the A's also have the worst bullpen in the league, 5.5 ERA, so this total is certainly inflated because of the venue here. And maybe that does help a team like Detroit actually create some offense, because they certainly seem to have a big-time pitching advantage in this game. So let's see how you portray it. Mize has given up just 2 earned runs in his last 2 starts with a 107 whip and a 5% walk rate. The A's have been a bottom 5 offense over the last week. We know they've been streaky. Springs has given up 27 home runs this season. He's given up 3 or more earned runs in more than half of his starts. Last 3 starts for Springs, he's got an ERA over 10. Now, the Tigers have been an offense that is probably inside the top 10 over the last week. They've looked a little bit better. They're not great on the road, but that can always change when you're here in this ballpark. I'm going to take the Tigers here in the first 5 with Casey Mize. Give me the Tigers to get off to a good start here against Springs, who definitely has suspect numbers, and Mize, very good numbers here. So I'll do it. Might be a little bit dicey, but I'll take Detroit here in the first 5, -0.5 at minus $1.25. The chat has some plays in this one. Okay. Tigers A's under for Larry. Under for Latifa here. And Anthony might go over, though. Cal Dog likes the under. Larry might take the under. He's not sure. Tigers first 5 for Farley. Let's see, Timmy says maybe just put him in a parlay and maybe the Tigers will blow it. The Tigers, remember they had that great run. They got so close to 500. They're down to 51-58 right now. So I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome these teams here at the top of the division, talking about the White Sox, talking about Cleveland, and you got to talk about Minnesota because they're right there too, just 3 games back. Detroit 6.5 back. White Sox are only 6 games over 500, but Detroit, they got to win some games on the road. A's on the money line here for Anthony. And Latifa says, could be an upset here. Farley says, Mize, he's solid. Cal Dog looking for those dogs on a Friday. Next up here, the Giants from the Padres here, and even I don't have a line here, and usually I can formulate something here. Maybe I can try to get something together here, and look, we do want to try to make a pick on this game, but hey, here's your chance. You be the lines maker here, because even I don't have anything close to an official line on this one, and I would think it's going to be pretty close to a pick 'em. Padres are the much better team, but Marquez has a 5.17 ERA, 4-2 record. Maybe the Padres can be a slight favorite here. Wisenhunt, 4.6 ERA, 2-1 record, 1.4 WHIP. So we'll see what you have here in this one. But again, a little bit sketchy here. Let me check one other source here. I bet I can get something on this game from one of the, the prediction markets. They have no conscience. Let's see if I think we can get a prediction market game, because when you're dealing with, the way prediction markets work, you're always having somebody willing to deal a little bit. Okay, let's go with this. Padres, $1.50. That's pretty high. I just went with the Giants won last night. I'd probably do it again here. If it's $1.50, I'll call it $1.45, because I am seeing actually $1.47 here. Nothing really on this total though right now, because we just don't know. Let me see here, but I'm going to call it $1.45. That's about as far as I can go. And you know me, I'm always willing to try to throw something out there and see if it sticks. But this one might be a little bit tough even on the total for me. Let me see here if I can throw it through the old database over here. Maybe we can come up with a solid total in this one. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the Giants. I don't know how deep we can handicap this one, because what's going to happen here is you're going to probably see this might not totally be the pitching situation here in this game. Yes, I think you will see Marquez. Yes, I think you will see Wisenhunt. We're going to see a bullpen game here. Most likely we are. The Padres are certainly in a bullpen day here. Wisenhunt can go, somewhat, maybe not total starter innings here, but this is a bullpen day for the Padres. If you want to put them on $1.45, now look, if it comes like I said at the beginning of this little segment here, I was saying, maybe it'll be a pick 'em. Maybe the Padres a slight favorite. Well, like I said, we do see Poly Market here with $1.47 for the Padres. So no, I'm not. If it's $1.47, I'm in Las Vegas. I cannot get a bet on this game right now. But Poly Market, that's available in California where this game is being played. And I'm going to take the Giants here in this one. And I think you just have to leave it at that. I'm not sure I can even formulate a total here. I'm trying to run it through the computer here and see what it says. I'm just not quite want to say what it says here, because it could be a whole run off. Okay, here we go. Yeah, look what happened yesterday. That's why I'm taking the Padres were asleep yesterday for sure, and they got burned. They did not look good. Giants are playing a little bit better here, says Anthony Mays. They've won 2 in a row. Padres were on a winning streak. There's no problem there. But Giants beat the Brewers here a couple of games. That's big time. Padres are beating up on the, lowly Rockies. Giants money line for Anthony. And Lativa says Giants were a bit of a surprise there yesterday. And Giants first five for Larry says, even I don't have this game on FanDuel. No, I've scanned every, like I said, Polymarket's the only thing I've really seen a line here right now. And look, you can always go to the usually the those markets, the prediction markets. Okay. All right, I think that. Let's see here. Timmy's got it at 8.5. I'll write that down here. I don't know if that's just Timmy's total or if he sees an actual line out there on the game. But for the Padres here, you're also going to see Brenson Rodriguez, I think, here is going to be in the game here as well. He may be the opener for Marquez, actually, Rodriguez. Let me take a look at that. I'm just going to make one more confirmation here. Padres are my team, so I should know better. But, yeah. I think Rodriguez did pitch on Wednesday, so then I don't think he pitched yesterday. And I think he might be the opener here in this one. So I think you'll see Brenson, no, what's his name? Bradley Rodriguez open up here, and then Marquez comes in after that. I think the Padres will have an opener here. Leading to the Giants for, hey, Ron Hahn's here, everybody. Say hello to Ron tonight. Able to join us this morning. And I was really missing San Diego Cal Dog today when it was 113 degrees here in in Las Vegas. Milwaukee here for Ron. A's and Card upset alert. I want to say hello and welcome here to Torrance McClure. If Latifa knows what a Pickett account is, she might. I don't know if she does. But maybe someone wants Latifa's Pickett. All right. Oh, Ron, we're almost at the end here. Here we go. Let me get to the next one here. We're just doing two more here, and then we'll get to the W. We've got the Twins taking on the Mariners here. Zebby Matthews goes up here against Bryce Miller. Here's another total mismatch on the mound anyway. But, hey, anything can happen. Zebby here, 5.21 ERA. 1.32 whip. Bryce Miller, 2.75 ERA, 0.92 whip. But because of that crappy offense the Mariners have, he's only 4-5 this season. As dominating as he's been, he has 4 measly wins. But taking a Twins team here that they've been fine, but man, they're so inconsistent. And then you get them on the road, probably not too good. So let's see what you think, though, with this one. Zebby comes in here, 2.62 batting average against, 278 BABIP. They're not dreadful numbers here, 1.31 whip. But Miller, pretty dominating here, 0.92 whip. $1.85, you'd think the Mariners could handle this one. I mean, the Twins, like I said, they're battling for both these teams are hot in their own, pennant races, if you will, or division races. Neither of these teams are winning any pennants, I don't think. But Seattle, like I said, just 2.5 games out of first, and Minnesota just 3 games out of first. So these are important games for these teams, and you got to beat some of these teams. Matthews is so up and down. I like him, probably more often than not, probably too frequently, but he has given up 4+ earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts with an 8.4 ERA. Mariners here hitting 250 over the last week. I know that doesn't sound great, but that's pretty good for them. They've had some trouble against right-handed arms, but Miller continues to be very solid. Very low walks. here. 8.8% walk rate in his last 3. Hasn't been that great over his last few starts. 6.19 ERA, but the Twins have struggled here. They've fallen to the bottom 10 over the last week anyway. And I'll take the Mariners here in the first 5. I've got to take the Mariners here. Maybe I've gone to the well too many times with the Zebster, but I'll take the M's here in the first 5 with Miller at -0.5 at -130. Check out the chat. Go to this one here and see what they have. Okay, here we go. Dodgers run line for Larry. And Latifa. I mean, remember Latifa was with the OG group. We should bring the OGs back. Latifa and I could be the OGs. Remember that? Okay, Twins again. Why not on the money line? Farley's going under. Larry's going Mariners and the money line. And Cal Dog's on the Twins. Zebby money line for Timmy. Is he going the Zebster? And Ron, how about that grand slam there yesterday, he says. Maybe the Twins for Latifa. Anthony Mays willing to bet a little table tennis there. You know, in Colorado, table tennis is 3rd in betting, behind football and basketball, and 3rd is table tennis. I don't know what it is about Colorado. They really love their table tennis. Seattle for Ron. Anthony says the Twins look better than the Guardians. What? And Timmy says he lost his pants betting on Zebby too much. Twins are worth the risk. Twins money line here possibly. Ron's from the OG crew too. Maybe we bring the OGs back. Timmy's going under in this one. They wouldn't have me on the team OG. All right. We go way back here in this chat, if you think about it. A few years, that's for sure. We've seen some things, haven't we, chat? All right. All right. Let me get to, is it the last game here in Major League Baseball? And it's the Red Sox and the Dodgers. Oh, I love this series when they have it. And like I said, I think this was supposed to be the Ohtani spot, right? And my prediction is Ohtani is going on the injured list. But so you're going to have Yamamoto here. Hello, Yamamoto. And I think we do have a total in this. I just don't have it on the screen there. I think we do anyway. Let me get the the line here. Is it really? It might be. Okay, I'm seeing Bovada here with a line. Let me correct this line. The Big B's got a line, and it's not anything close. Oh, because I've got the Ohtani line, the Ohtani look ahead line, the Ohtani futures line in here, I think. All right, here we go. I find this one hard to believe, but right now it is available at a Big B here offshore. So it's a pick'em. It's basically a pick'em. Maybe the Dodgers are a slight favorite here at $1.15, but I think it's a pick'em right now, and that seems crazy to me. All right, 8.5 over 25. There we go. This is going to be the line right now at the Big B. Got Yamamoto here at a pick. 8.5 over 25 for Yamamoto here. 2.72 ERA, 11-6 record. Now Ranger Suarez is good too, man. We know 3.02 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, a 4-3 record coming into this one. This is gonna be a great series here. We know how scorching the Red Sox have been, and you got a left-hander going here. it could be, you know, uh, let me see here. Let me check the Yamamoto. I'm curious about the Yamamoto situation here, actually. And all signs do kind of point to Yamamoto. Could he possibly have an opener here in Enriquez? Because Yamamoto's having a great season. You'd think he'd be a little bit more of a favorite here. Let me see. Let me see if anybody's calling for Enriquez to either open or start this game. But I think it's Yamamoto here. Suarez, we know, is good, so I can see why it could be rated closely here. Suarez just came back from injury. He's kind of on a pitch count here, too. I mean, first game back, he just had 4 innings and 4 hits and 6 Ks right now. Dodgers, of course, are a top 5 offense. Yamamoto's having a great season. He's been great in his recent starts, too, except the game against the Diamondbacks, but still good numbers here, 3.54 FIP and a 1.0 whip in his last 3 starts. We know the White Sox have been scorching, so maybe there's part of that too with this incredible run. They're actually kind of back to, they'd lost, 2 out of 4 there, and that was like a slump for them. But now they've won 4 out of 5 again here, and looking pretty solid here. But we'll see, man. This seems like, we don't get a chance to take the Dodgers at a pick 'em very often. So let's see what you think in this one. And what do you guys have? Do you guys have something different here than I do? Okay, let's see here. Okay, Red Sox money line for Anthony. Okay, also here. I'm so old, I'm like Vin Scully here. Hi again, everybody, and a pleasant good afternoon. And that's where, the intro actually comes from, Vin Scully. And a pleasant, remember I say at the start of the show, pleasant good evening to you from Las Vegas. That's kind of like my Vin Scully open. Farley's on the Dodgers money line. Vin Scully, the Fordham Flash. Amazing to think about that, right? That, oh gosh, it's escaping me right now, but I want to get this right here. But you think about, right, a small world, right? And gosh, who was Vin Scully? I thought he had a famous teammate, didn't he? The Dodgers. Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. So no wonder the Dodgers there. So probably be Enriquez, I would imagine there. Let me go. I'm going to check one more thing here. All right. I mean, a lot of info out there pointing to Yamamoto, but it would seem to make more sense with this line. And look, the Dodgers bullpen pretty well rested here, I would think. Now, yesterday, take a look at that game here. And Sasaki, five and a third innings. Dreyer, an inning and a third. Enriquez did pitch a third of an inning, so he still could open, but he, obviously did get out there. And then Tanner Scott had an inning. Edwin Diaz had an inning. So if it is a bullpen game, you're going to see, obviously, here, I think Dreyer might not go, but Enriquez probably get some Will Klein in there. Brock Stewart also was probably good to go, even though he lost that game on Tuesday. And then, then you get into the specialists, at least from that point. Since Scott was in there with the setup, maybe Phillips, maybe Vesia gets in there. my man Vesia. Okay. First 5 under here. Cal Dog says Red Sox Dodgers over. Over for Latifa. Jimmy says RotoWire showing Yamamoto. And Ron says take the Dodgers. Boston's hot, but the Dodgers at home with the better pitcher, if it is Yamamoto, right? So, oh no, Ron says they got the better pitcher with Henriquez. I don't think that's true, Ron. I mean, if that's what you're saying. Oh, unless he's saying that if Enriquez is in there, because I mean, obviously Suarez is far better than Enriquez. I'm probably still going to take the Dodgers. I don't care who's pitching. I mean, I don't say it like that. I mean, obviously you'd want Yamamoto, but like I said, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Yamamoto would be, I would think, a slight favorite over Suarez. But again, Suarez has been so good. The Red Sox have been so good. Maybe it is a pick 'em. Man, I wish I'm going to take one more scan here real quick. Because I just can't stand it. Okay. I'm going to say that, yeah, I think that I agree. I think it is going to be Enriquez in that opening game. The beat, got a beat writer here calling that same thing. So, and then, yeah, then it'll be Yamamoto on Saturday and then Emmett Sheehan on Sunday. Okay. Great. And that total of 8.5 there, then maybe that makes more sense after all. Okay, let's see if we still. So that may be a little sketchy there. And I got to make a pick. Ron says when you got Dodgers at home there, Boston's due for a loss. They've been playing well. All right. I'm going to have to take the Red Sox here in this one at a pick. Suarez is just going to – I just too strong, it feels like, for me against the Dodgers got a fine situation here. I'll take the Red Sox, though. They've got the more stable situation coming in. Okay, that's it for the baseball. Let's go to the WNBA. Hey, I was the host of the 2-3 zoner. Well, I guess so. I mean, I did the producing and had Bo Dunn and Stax McKelvey with me, and we previewed the WNBA games over here at the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Now, I'm going to still go over them here real quick, but I just want to let you know, complete breakdowns from two guys who really know their stuff, especially Justin with his incredible run here right now in the WNBA. So check it out here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel underneath the videos tab, the 2-3 zone. Okay. And here we go. Let's go first up. The Wings are taking on the Mystics here. Wings are favored in this one by 2.5. The move has clearly been on Washington here in this game. Washington has been one of the most improved teams in the league here right now. They've been terrific. They're not, up there with the elite teams, but man, the way they're playing, they're going to make the playoffs here. They're 15-12 right now. I mean, that's pretty good, especially when you consider here. It is going to be a little bit of a fight, but right now they're on the outside looking in, I do believe. But let me see. They're going to have to get – this is actually a very important game for them, actually. Dallas is kind of the number 8 team right now. So Washington, they're pretty much number 9 right now. Now, no, I'm sorry, Dallas isn't number 8. New York is number 8. It's going to be New York and Washington possibly battling for one of the last playoff spots. What a disappointment New York has been right now. That's crazy. but Washington feels like one of the most improved teams. And, they were so young, remember, with the two star players here, and now they're kind of in their second year or so. And now Washington's won 3 in a row here, beating Golden State, Las Vegas, and Connecticut. Hey, beat Connecticut, but they beat Golden State. They beat Las Vegas here. Dallas is a favorite here, but Washington is 13-4 against the spread as an underdog. Man, Dallas is 9-6 to the over on the road. Washington's 8-5 to the over at home. What do you think is going to happen here, man? 13-4 as an underdog? That sounds pretty good. No matter how you slice it. So let's see what you think, though, in this one with Dallas and laying those points and Washington on a winning streak. Sure, Dallas is a better offensive team. They've been averaging 91 points per game over their last 10, shooting 47%. Dallas also leads the team in assists, and that creates a difficult matchup for this Washington team, but they're really good defensively. They're allowing 82 points per game in their stretch here of a 7-3 record. So the Wings won the first one by 23. I don't think this is a blowout. I kind of think Washington here can hang in this one. And we'll see. As far as the total is concerned, Dallas has scored more than 91 points in over their last 10 games, but they've allowed 87 too. And the Wings are, kind of having some high-scoring games. Washington averaged just 82 points per game. But the Mystics at home, maybe they could score a little bit more. And, boy, if this one gets both teams into the high 80s, it's going to go over again. And like I said, overs in the WNBA right now, kind of crazy, but coming in about 56% here, overs. Let's see what the chat says here in our first game of the W tonight. Larry said the Padres line just popped up here a little bit at some of the places. There it is, 140, 142. Yep, good job there. I know Larry's a real one. Seeing the Big B, 142, got a consensus here, 140 and 8.5. And Enriquez did pop up there as well. You know why, Larry, you know why the lines just popped up? Because they're watching Night Moves, all right? We told them what's going to happen with your help, with your guys' help. We played investigator. You want to see someone play internet sports investigator. I don't want to promote too much, my private stuff here, but I have videos on YouTube previewing the Little League, not the Little League World Series yet. They're in the regionals, and I've worked out. I went, not that I'm just bored here waiting for football season, but I did some videos of previewing Little League regionals. You talk about investigating. I mean, I've got like kids in Rhode Island going 3 for 4. All right. AI can help you do things like that, though. They can help you research, and I had a lot of fun doing those videos. And they didn't go viral, but they got several, almost 1,000 views, and the tournament hasn't even barely started in some of these. Okay, here, let's see. Tim's here. He's tuning in from the airport, or maybe he's on the plane. We could be on a plane right now. We could. Okay. Anthony, I think, is inviting us to Atlanta for a meet and greet. If I'm going to Atlanta, though, I want to go to the hot dog plate, to the Varsity. Is it overrated? Because I love good hot dogs. Oh, God. Oh, Ron, I forgot. It's been so long since, Ron's been here. But all right. We got to do the Discord. Why don't we have you'd think Tony's got everything in the world here and we don't have a Discord. But I suck at Discord. I have a Discord. I don't even know how it works. I see the stuff. I maybe type in there. All right, let me continue on this WNBA. Oh, did I take a play here in this one? I've got Washington. Of course I've got Washington. Come on. they're going to win this game. Okay. Next up, the Storm are at the Dream here in this one, and the Dream are favored big time here by 12. Look at this. Maybe even 12 and a half. But in this one, with the Storm and the Dream, you have Seattle here. The Dream are 17 and 10. They've climbed back into second place in the East. They've won 4 straight, and also 5 of their last 6. Seattle's 6 and 24, and they're on a massive 7-game losing streak right now. But they keep on covering. I'll tell you, they're a pretty solid cover. Atlanta is not a good cover. I don't know if you can. They may just beat them again here. They're favored by 12 and a half, but Atlanta's covered just one of their last 10 games overall right now. And in their last game against Dallas, that game where they survived 82 to 81, they shot 1 of 16 from 3. Now, they were on the road. Heidemann had 33 points for Seattle. Seattle's getting healthy here. Dominique Malonga, who did miss a game or two, but also I saw coming back here for the first time this season is going to be, or not this season, but she's been out here for a few weeks. Easy Magbagor, who's had a broken nose. So she's back, broken face, I think. And for Atlanta, my favorite player is out, Tihaina Paopao. So see what you think here in this one. But, man, I'll tell you what, that is a pretty big number there for a team here like Seattle. So I'm going to take them here. I'm going to try Seattle in this one plus the points. I mean, Atlanta is not covering numbers here, and it's just one of those cases where, like I said, you got these teams. Atlanta 17 and 10 overall, 10 and 17 against the spread. Seattle's 6 and 24, but they're 16 and 11 as an underdog. So I'm willing to take them here in this one to give me Seattle plus the points. I'll try it here. It may look, Atlanta could be primed to smash somebody here a little bit. All right. Storm and Dream under for Larry. I'm a one-man band, I guess. Huh? Okay, right, Jimmy. I had to go with the long sleeve. I just threw this on. It's 101 right now at 2:20 in the morning, but here in the satellite studios, it is about 69 degrees, if you know what I mean. And no, I don't think we had the videos tonight. Ron's still just kind of working back into the swing of things. Storm with the points here for Cal Dog. This chat's on fire. People don't know what they're missing, huh, folks? Okay, one more game here, and it's going to be Indiana taking on Portland. You got the Fever and the Fire. And you've got Indiana here favored by 7.5. They've won 4 in a row. They are looking pretty darn good here. When you're scoring points, Indiana last 4 games, 110, 108, 123, 105. No team in WNBA history has scored at least 105 points in 4 straight games like the Fever. Now, look, taking on Portland here, Portland can be solid at home, no doubt about it. They're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 for Portland. They are getting 7.5 here, but Indiana is kind of on fire. Now, Portland did win here at home 100-84. Back in May, they got 100. So you got Indiana, who just set a record for most games over 105 points, 4 in a row, and WNBA record. Portland, who, they're still an expansion. I say they're an expansion team. Don't forget, Portland was actually in the league a long time ago. But still, they scored 100 points against Indiana. And we know how Indiana plays. So I got to go over in this one. I'm just going to take the over. That's what I'm going to do. Indiana's 13-8 to the over as a favorite. Portland 16-8 to the over as a dog. I know it's 188.5, but I gotta go over in this one. All right, let's see what the chat says here. I gotta go over. Everything's going over these days. Larry's on the fever. Latifa's ready for some football. I've been interviewing high school teams for 5 straight days. I cover all the bases here. Maybe Portland for Timmy. Latifa's already for hockey season. That's the one thing. This is sports betting season. Good morning to Stop Geo. He likes the O's tomorrow, maybe. And we're just 6 days away. The Hall of Fame game is on Thursday night next week, right? Cal Dogs on the over. Carolina and Arizona. And Ron's ready. Ron's got his plays here. He just went with a KBO game here too. Remember, I already said my KBO plays, but Ron's got the Hanwha Eagles money line and the LG Twins on the money line. And Latifa doesn't know to go fire or fever. That's it. Oh, no. Okay, that's it for the WNBA. Let me take a peek here at the CFL with Montreal taking on Ottawa. Here in this one, got Montreal favored by 6.5. Total 62. Wow. You know how things have been going in the CFL this year with these totals. Total went over again yesterday in the game. But what do you think here? The Alouettes taking on the Red Blacks here on Friday night. Now, Montreal comes in. Certainly here, the better team coming in. Montreal 6-1. Ottawa, they're 0-6. Great matchup here for Montreal. Now, Davis Alexander. Look, good. I wouldn't take him over in his props necessarily because I think, you're going to have Travis Tice here kind of running the ball on the ground a little bit. It's coming off 2 monster games. 123 yards against Calgary, 156 yards against Hamilton. So they've got the run game. They don't stop the run, Montreal. So Ottawa could get some running attack going with Greg Bell in there, but he just hasn't been able to bust through. So I don't know. I mean, Montreal's just got too much. Travis Philpott's on fire. Travis and Tyler Snead. Last game, he did have some issues there, but still had a great game before that. The Dogs have been coming through here a little bit, but Davis Alexander, man, he's having such a great season here. I'll go ahead and lay it. I'll lay the touchdown on night moves here. Does seem like Montreal is far better right now, and it's a great matchup almost all the way down the line. I think Davis Alexander will actually probably just be close on his numbers because I think they'll be able to run the ball and establish it may be just enough domination for Montreal that Ottawa will not have a chance. It's not exactly a terrible matchup, but nobody's thrilled about Mayer in there at quarterback, even though he was okay last week, 30 of 40 for 344 yards and a pick and a touchdown. But he's got Pimpleton, he's got Hardy in here, but those guys don't match up with Montreal's skill players. Okay. Ron, I went with well, Latifa tell you what I had on the Tigers and the Tigers and Swallows game. I had the under, and then I also had the over with the Fighters. I went over with the Marines and the Fighters. And the KBO. Oh, let me get the KBO plays. That's right. That was my NPB. The guy came in asking for NPB. Okay, here we go real quick. I've got I don't want to make sure I don't duplicate. Let me make sure I go back and look at Ron's plays here because he had the Eagle. Okay, because I like I'm going Tigers and Dinos over. 10.5. Tigers and Dinos over 10.5. And I like the Lions and the Giants under. Lions, Giants under. I think that's probably it. Okay, thanks everybody. What a show, man. When Latifah's here, everybody gets excited and we go with a really long show. Over for Timmy in the CFL game. I can show this because he said it's dog ship. Dog ship. Ottawa money line. He says, Timmy, after what happened in that game today, maybe the upset, maybe the first one. Latifa goes with Montreal and the over. Ron likes the over in this one because CFL games have been a big over here. That's it, everybody. I'm out of breath. I'm gonna go eat some leftover pizza down here, and appreciate everyone, man. What a great show! What an incredible show. We're back tomorrow with more night moves. Get you ready for the action on Saturday. Make sure you go to Tony'sPicks.com. I'll have a UFC package up as well because the UFC goes off at 10 a.m. Eastern and 7 a.m. Pacific on Saturday. That's going to do it, everybody. Go over to Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. See Ron Hahn over there. Make sure you get his premium picks. He's been, as we said at the intro, he's been warm. So check it out. We previewed all the great handicappers. Ron went 2-0 on Thursday, and he's on a good run right now. Last 7 days, Ron clicking here at almost 70%. And over the last month, we know he's up over 17 3/4 units here right now. So great job, Ron. All right, that's going to do it for me. Thanks a lot. Make sure you join Tony in there with the crew in the morning. Tony will have the panelists going over the card, and then we'll have the drive-through there in the afternoon, and I'll sign it off for the week. For the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.